Welcome, your Royal Highnesses. I'm Carol, and you're watching Walt Disney World Adults Only. Today we are going to Hollywood Studios, and I'm just not as dedicated as Dan. I just can't do a daily blog just because it's too much responsibility on my vacation. So what I've decided to do is sort of a compilation of every time I'm in Hollywood Studios. And it's also a 14-day trip, and I would bore you out of your minds. So that's the way we're going to do it. So Fran, my husband, has never been on Rise of Resistance or Smuggler's Run, so I'm anxious to see his reactions to that. Hopefully he'll love it as much as I do. And then it's going to be a short day at Hollywood Studios. It's supposed to be hot. I want to get some pool time in. And then we have reservations tonight at Cinderella's Royal Table, hoping to watch the fireworks from inside this time. So I hope you'll join me on my little tour. And we're going to, where did I say we're going today? See why I can't do a daily blog? Because I can't remember 1 minute to the next. We're going to Hollywood Studios today. Okay, long lines getting into Hollywood Studios today. And people just skip ahead of us in line, but that's okay. Okay, still waiting to get into the park. The bus ride was faster than the line to get into the park. As you can see, it is totally packed, waiting to get in. Which leads me to believe that the park is going to be crowded today. So we'll see what we can get to. So we just got through the line at 9:44. So it's about a half an hour to get in, to leave the hotel and get here. Okay, you can see how crowded there is. So we see a little cavalcade coming up the street. It's probably Christmas themed, obviously. So let's watch it, shall we? And we've got some dancers. And Pluto and his reindeer. Hi, reindeer. The big man himself.
Oh, very nice. Hey, how you doing? Oh my goodness, so good to see everyone out here today. Oh, 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 oh. You know what? Don't you ever forget how much Santa loves all of you.
And that was a little motorcade. So we just got done with watching Beauty and the Beast. I was very interested to see how they were going to do a contactless Beauty and the Beast, to see if it lost any of its charm without them being able to touch. And they did not touch once during the whole thing. It was interesting to see how they were going to do the dance. The show was fun. They pulled it off beautifully, I think. Fran, what do you think?
It was a great show. I mean, worth seeing, no matter if they're touching or not.
So that's a thumbs up from Fran, and he's pretty critical. So I think that was a go. Highly recommend it, even with social distancing. We're on our way to Toy Story Mania, a ride that we didn't do for years, thinking it was like a little kiddie ride. Now it's one of our favorites, so we always try and get that in. Just had a little bathroom break. You know the park is busy when there's a line for the ladies' room, but there's also a line for the men's room. So you know it's busy when the men have to wait in line. So Toy Story Mania, I suck. Fran is really good. I'm going to see if I can beat him today. Fingers crossed for me. Never happens, but you know, this is Disney, pixie dust, miracles do happen. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Okay, it happened. I beat Fran 147,000 to his 116,000. So it must have been some of your well wishes because I never beat him. So thank you for all your help, even though it was virtually, because I know you guys had a part in it. So we're now off to Rise of Resistance. Fran has never been there before. I didn't really tell him a lot about it because it's sort of hard to explain because it's so immersive. So it's going to be really interesting to see his reaction to it. Okay, we're leaving Toy Story Land and now we're transitioning into Galaxy's Edge, where I always get lost because the signs are in a strange language, of course. So let's see if we can find our way to Rise of Resistance. So this really is the back way into Galaxy's Edge through Toy Story Land. There's also the front way off the main concourse there. Maybe if I went in the front way I wouldn't get as lost, but it's always such an experience seeing this for the first time, and you just feel like you've been transported to another land. I think we're gonna go this way, which is probably the wrong way, but I see a sign ahead, so that might help us. Let's see. Rise of Resistance. So, oh look, we got Chewie up there. And he's giving some waves. He didn't look like a very happy Chewie today. Theming here is amazing, down to the minutest details. There's a line there for some photos, which I think will come back and try and get some Star Wars photos if we have time. I think we're getting close. I see lines. There's the lightning lane, so we're going to head in and we'll see what Fran thinks of the ride. Again, you feel like you are walking inside a cave. The theming here is wonderful.
Does he have any information that we might find useful? I don't doubt that for a moment. Can anyone be useful? I'm looking for resistance secrets of any kind. Fran, you don't have anything to tell me? No. That's extremely disappointing. I thought for your birthday you were going to gift me resistance secrets. I don't know what planet you're from, but I would suggest you start doing birthdays that way. Now, anyone wearing a bag across their body or over their...
Okay, so we just finished with Rise of Resistance. Fran almost got taken away because he mouthed off to the officer there. Fran, were you scared that she was going to take you away?
Yes.
Yes. Those definitive answers. So what'd you think of it, Fran? It was your first time.
It's a good, really good ride. I would do it again. Nice. I mean, not too intense. I can't do very intense.
Yeah, so no motion sickness on the ride.
No motion sickness at all.
And what did you think about the whole theming?
The theming was great. It's almost like you were taken prisoner, and they were gonna kind of do something to you to get the information out of you, and of course you were rescued. It was good.
So there you go. It's a thumbs up from Fran. Next we're going to do Smuggler's Run, which depending on the pilot we could have an issue with. So we'll see how that goes, and that's our next attraction that we're going to head to. So we just finished Smuggler's Run, we both got to be pilots. So we had to work together driving, which is a unique experience because usually I've got my foot on the brake in the passenger side there as Fran is driving. So that made a unique experience where we had to drive together. We didn't do too bad. We captured one cargo pod before we crashed the ship. So that wasn't too bad. I felt a little tiny queasy. Again, if I had been the engineer or the gunner, I think I would have felt less. But when you're right in front of those screens, if you do have any motion sickness, especially to simulator rides, you definitely feel that. Then we went to Ronto Roasters, so obviously I wasn't queasy enough to avoid food. And we were starving, so I didn't even show you what I ate because I was just too hungry. Fran had the pork sausage thingy. I had the zucchini. That was a little surprising for me. The zucchini, I expected to be cooked instead of crunchy. It was good crunchy, but I just expected it to be cooked zucchini with the chickpeas and stuff. It also was quite spicy, which I didn't expect. Spicy going in, and then it really had an afterburn in your mouth. So I drank tons of water for that. So we're calling it a day here at Hollywood Studios. We're here a couple more times before our vacation ends. So we're going to go back to the pool and relax, have a cocktail, get ready for our dinner tonight. We just boarded the SkyLiner at 7:58 from Pop. We're heading over to Hollywood Studios today. We loaded quite quickly. Hopefully there won't be a big line at Caribbean Beach. So we got to Caribbean at 8:03. Now there's quite a line to get into the next SkyLiner to Hollywood Studios. Haven't had my coffee yet. I'm drinking on the way, so I'm probably not totally awake. But I'll show you the line and we'll see what time we get there. Okay, so we got on the SkyLiner at 8:09. It should be a quick trip over to Hollywood Studios. We'll see what the lines are like getting in there. So we got through security and the gates by 8:18. They are letting people in. Still pretty crowded. Everybody's either going towards Runaway Railroad or Rise of Resistance. I'm not seeing, however, the running towards Avatar that you see in Animal Kingdom. Everybody is just walking sort of nicely. There are signs directing people if this is the first time. But the majority, as you can see, is heading towards Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. Not surprising, since it's a fairly new line. So we are standing in line, or I should say I am standing in line. Fran ran out of line for an emergency bathroom break there. Hope he finds me. But we're standing in line. It's not really moving. It's not quite at 8:30 yet, so they may not have opened the ride yet. But the line is very, very long. It goes back. It goes back behind the theater, comes around over here, then back and forth a few times over here. Once you're there, then it goes back and forth out there before you're finally in this line to come over here. So this will probably take up the whole half hour of the extra magic hours, early magic hours. There was a line at the ticket entrance where they were scanning early hour people from the resort. although a lot of people from the resorts weren't using that line. So look for that line. We got in quite fast. Oh, and Fran found his way back. Here he comes. I have to show you his shirt. I really like his shirt today. Fran is wearing his Revenge of the Fifth instead of the Revenge of the Sith shirt. Are you okay, Fran?
Yes.
Once they opened the ride at exactly 8:30, the line started moving much more rapidly. So you can see we've got movement now. Moving along at a pretty good pace. So now we're at the second section.
Me and Oliver will go to Universal together.
Of back and forth switchbacks. Okay, so we just got off Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad at 9:28. So we got to the park around 8:09. We rode one ride by 9:30. So the line moved pretty quickly once it opened at 8:30. I think it went down for a while, although my Genie didn't show that it was down. It showed Rise of Resistance temporarily closed, but we were pretty much at a standstill for a little bit. Then the line started moving again. It wasn't too bad after that. This was Fran's first time on the ride. Fran, what did you think of it?
It was all right, but it's definitely not worth the 70-minute wait. Unless you get a Lightland, Lightland pass.
So it's a cute ride. Still miss the great movie ride, but it's a nice ride. So the line is still pretty long there. We're going to head over probably to Toy Story Land and see what's happening over there. So using the Genie Service tip board, you do have to change the park. It always lists Magic Kingdom, and it took me like 6 times to get it to change to a different park. So every once in a while you get a glitch like that. Alien Swirling Saucers has a 30-minute wait. The shows are listed. 65 minutes for Mickey and Minnie's Railroad. Smuggler's Run, only a 35-minute wait. Rock and Roll Roller Coaster, 35-minute wait. So Slinky Dog, 60 minutes. Star Tours is 5 minutes. Rise of Resistance is back up, and it's now at 135 minutes. Toy Story Mania is 35 minutes. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, 35 minutes. So the tip board will tell you the times, but it's really just like the wait times. It's not really prioritizing anything as much as they touted it to be, your personalized tips of the day. It's pretty much listing wait times. So we stood quite a while in line for a picture, but the photographer was really, really good. You're staring into the sun. She made you close your eyes before and told you when to open them, so that was nice. So everybody wasn't blinking, so that was worth the wait. We then did Toy Story Mania, where I beat Fran a second time in a row. So I'm glad I'm recording this for posterity because that never happens. And we're about to exit Toy Story Mania. And I'll give you a look at how crowded it is on a Monday. I really figured that after the Thanksgiving week, maybe dragged into last week, but thought today would be less crowded. Doesn't seem that way. Wait times are all in the 80-90 minute range for like Slinky. Toy Story Mania had a 60-minute wait. So times are still pretty long and crowded. Of course, Toy Story Land is sort of narrow, so there's not a lot of room for people to spread out. And we're about to exit, so I'll show you what the crowds look like on a Monday in December. Line going into Toy Story Mania.
Sorry, they all just kind of stopped.
You're okay. In that direction. In this direction. A little more open in this direction. So standby for rise resistance is 160 minutes. Lightning Lane is over here. And remember, this is one of those rides that you have to pay extra. It's not included in the Genie Plus. So I was checking out some of the lunch times. Even with mobile ordering, Woody's lunchbox does not have an open till 2:30, and it's about 11:20 right now. So even with mobile ordering, you may have to wait. So think about that ahead before you get hungry. Plan ahead. There are some places that are now, but something popular like Woody's, if you want to eat there, plan your day ahead a little bit. So we're gonna head back to Toy Story Mania to see if I can make it 3 in a row beating Fran. That's never happened before, but we'll try that. Then we're gonna do Tower of Terror, head back to the resort for a swim. It's supposed to be in the mid-80s today. We have reservations at Oga'S at 4:10, so we're gonna get a quick swim in, come back here, do Oga'S, and then we have dinner reservations at Beaches and Cream, so it's sort of in the same area, so we'll hang around, do that, head back over to Epcot and get Harmonious in today, since we missed it last night. So that's our game plan. Let's see how well we stick to it. The challenge?
I guess.
All right, we'll see if I can go for 3 in a row. Fran looks like he's serious. He's serious. Hey, I gotta put this away. So third time was the charm for Fran. Not only did he beat me, but he got the high score in the vehicle. How you feel about that, Fran?
I feel pretty good, finally.
Yeah. So is this gonna be your new favorite ride here?
It's been a favorite ride, doesn't matter.
Okay, so he beat the cart and he's pretty happy. As you can see, this is about as ecstatic as Fran gets, so he's pretty pleased with himself right now. A lot of interesting shirts here. Some really cool Star Wars shirts we've seen. Obviously some holiday shirts. And there's our first view of Tower of Terror. Not Fran's favorite ride, but he's doing it for me. I probably can get one time out of him, and that will be it for the whole vacation. He's willing to do it once, which is all that matters, right? And on the right, we have the theater where Beauty and the Beast is. I always try and look at the times and try not to be wandering down here when the theater gets out. It does get a little crowded at that point. So I think we're good today. So Fran, we just did the Tower of Terror. What do you think?
Not bad.
Was it as intense as you remember?
Yeah, but I handled it. No problem.
Yeah. Would you go on it again?
Sure, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'd go on it again.
All right. So we've got a new convert to the Tower of Terror. So it was about a 7-minute walk from Tower of Terror to the SkyLiner. And it's pretty much a walk on. There's not a line at all. So this took 4 minutes as well. So within 10 minutes, if there's no lines, you can go from Hollywood Studios to the bridge between Art of Animation and Pop Century. Now, our room is in the 60s section, very close to the bridge, so easily within 15 minutes we can be back in the room. So we came back to the room, relaxed a little, went for a nice swim, cooled off. Now we're heading back to Hollywood Studios for reservations at Oga'S. If we get there a little early, we can do a little bit of shopping. I haven't had a lot of time to do that, but I want to make sure we get there for that reservation. We got a great seat right at the high top. Right near the DJ. What shall I have? Fran, have any idea what you'd like?
The outer rim.
The outer rim? Okay. So he's going with the outer rim, which is a tequila-based drink. Black salt. And I'm going with the fuzzy Tatooine. Very noisy in here.
Right, Sons Travelers, how we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. My name is Matt, and I'll be your server here at the Cantina. Now, I got a question here for you. No one here snuck a blaster or a lightsaber in here, right?
Ah, you caught me.
Don't be trouble for me today, scoundrel. I'll be watching you, all right? All right, guys. Do you have any questions about the menu? Give me a second to look it over.
No, I think what we not.
Let's do it. What can I get for you?
I'm gonna get the fuzzy Tatooine. He's gonna get the outer rim.
You got it. All right, sounds great, guys. We'll get that right out for you.
Alrighty. Here, try mine. Which is better? That's better?
All right. Choke that down.
Alright, I'm trying the outer rim. Tasty. Notice anything different on your lips? Your lips aren't going numb?
Not really. Tongue is.
Oh, tongue. That's the fuzzy Tatooine.
Oh, yeah?
It has a numbing agent in it. Oh, my tongue is definitely numb. So I am having the Rhodian ration, which is sort of their version of a Jell-O shot. The black things on here are crunchy, and then there are the boba balls that burst in your mouth. I haven't tried the red part yet. Red has a little bit of salty, it's like a sweet salty. Together the combination is really good. It's served in like a petri dish, which, being a retired chemistry teacher, that's right up my alley. I still have to finish my fuzzy Tatooine, so I'm behind. Fran is ahead.
Looks like you're not the last Jedi. Go on. That is a privilege. Sorry, no. Settle down now. Excellent. Hold on. We've tracked an unauthorized connection to this data pad. Stick to civilian channels. Civilian.
Okay, hey, they're done. Come on, let's go.
On your way. Smugglers, pirates, innocent travelers, yours. Hard to tell the difference. You there, whatever you're doing, I doubt you're authorized. That's affirmative. Well, don't let us keep you, traveler.
So we just had drinks at Oga'S Cantina. Oga'S Cantina, not Olga's. Gotta be careful about that. They were good. They were really cool. It was really, really noisy in there. Just the high ceilings and stuff, it made it hard to talk. Our server was really funny. That I was enhanced the experience. I ended up with the Jello shots in a petri dish. That was sort of cool. Fran got the Buzzbin Fizz for his second drink. Again, that's really cool the way they put the dry ice in the bottom and make it safe to drink. One thing I guess I should add, if you haven't been here since it's reopened, most of the table service and even the menu in here are on QR codes. So if you don't have a scanner on your phone, before you come, make sure you at least download a QR reader. That way you can get the menus. They have very few paper copies of the menus. So you look at the QR code and then it pulls up the menu on your phone. Just a little added layer of safety. Okay, we're gonna do Toy Story Mania one more time because the score is now 2-1 before we head over to Beaches and Cream for dinner. And my lips are starting to untingle. So if I'm talking funny, it's because my lips are still, fuzzy. In our running battle of Toy Story Mania, it's now 3-1, but we were like 2,000 points within each other. So very close game. I'm ahead 3-1 this trip. Again, Fran scored the high score in the cart last time. So we're heading out of the park and going to dinner at Beaches and Cream. We're gonna take the Friendship boat over. We have about an hour to get there. As long as we can get through this crowd and there's not too much of a line for the boats, we should make it. Hey everyone, it's Future Carol again. I had such bad laryngitis at the end of the trip. You couldn't even hear me if I shouted. So I never really got to give you a recap of my days at Hollywood Studios. Surprisingly, this was the highlight of my trip. Now, if you know me, you know Animal Kingdom's my favorite park, the safari's my favorite ride, but there were things about Hollywood Studios that were really, really special this trip. First of all, Fran had never done Rise of Resistance or Smuggler's Run or Mickey and Minnie's Railroad, but I knew he wouldn't be as thrilled with that as he would be with the Star Wars stuff. So I really wanted to see his reaction. If you've seen him in my vlogs, you know he's pretty stoic. He doesn't get excited about a lot. So I thought these two rides might really get a reaction from him. And I was so thrilled on one of the times that we went on Rise of Resistance. He was signaled, if I could speak correctly, he was singled out as a rebel spy. And the interaction with him and the cast member was just priceless. That was worth the 14-day trip for me. The second thing that made Hollywood Studios really stand out was that in our Toy Story Mania challenge, I actually won 3-2, and that never happens either. So those two things really cemented Hollywood Studios as being an extra special park for us this trip. If you enjoyed this vlog, please watch my others and give this a thumbs up. If you have any questions about any of them, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to respond to you. And if you're not a member of our Adults Only Facebook group, please join us there. We have adult-centered discussions about what makes a trip special for adults. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel either, please do so you know when these videos come out. Hit the bell and you'll be notified when a new one lands. And even though this is adult Disney, remember, never grow up.